What it do, good people? I am glad to be here telling y'all what I learned. I learned a lot of stuff over the last few years, and I've acquired a lot of wisdom over the last few years. So I think it's important that I depart some of that knowledge upon you guys. For what it's worth, I had to learn a lot of this stuff the hard way. A lot of stuff that I read in the Bible, I had to learn the hard way through experience. That's what the Bible is for, is to prevent that, but also that's what grace and mercy is for, is because God understands that sometimes we're not going to just go off of what we read. Sometimes we're not going to just stop at the information and allow that information to be our guide. Sometimes we're going to have to go through it so we can grow through it, so we can have an understanding of it. And God knows that. So that's why he implements grace and mercy. Now, with grace and mercy doesn't come an allowance of repetitive sin. That's not what grace and mercy is for. Grace and mercy is for things like moments of foolishness, moments of setbacks, seasons of falling short, stuff like that. God has grace and mercy for those that want to stay on point, but just sometimes make mistakes because we're not perfect. And sometimes we fall off and have a hard time getting back. But as long as we try to get back, that's what God has grace and mercy for. Now, another thing that I also learned is that God is not going to stop you from being a fool. God is going to let you live your best life for what you think your best life is. And he's also going to make you suffer the consequences of said decisions that you make. What you have to realize is that is consequences for all decisions. So no matter what you choose to do, if you choose to do holy, righteous, if you choose to do negative, evil, foolish, wicked things, you're going to have to suffer consequences regardless. You just have to be wise enough to know what consequences you're going to suffer and make the choice to accept them. That's something I struggle with. I was trying to be a people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like me. I want to be everybody's friend. I want to be the cool guy. You know what I mean? I want to be validated. You know what I mean? Approved. External things. And I put God on the back burner for a significant amount of time. I got nothing out of it. And I fell short even further from the glory. But through the God's grace and mercy, I was able to get back and not stay so far gone so long. But I did fall short and I did stay out of the game for a long time. Here's the thing, guys. Addiction is real. And even more so, sometimes, bro, you could slip up and get addicted to addiction. That's the part they don't tell you about addiction. You know, most of the time it's always in caveat or in lieu with another substance or in lieu with something external. But sometimes, bro, you cannot have substance addiction. You could be addicted to addiction itself. And that's the vast, with so much information and so much knowledge out here, bro, and so many DIYs and quick fixes that are credible and sufficient, you would trick yourself. But we don't realize that sufficiency is only temporary. That sufficiency is only for a moment in time. And once that moment in time passes, bro, so does the sufficiency. And that's what the devil don't want to tell you. He wants you to believe that, the devices that you hang yourself up on will eventually at some point work out for you. But what God has always tried to get us to understand is that it will never work out for you. He didn't intend it for it to work out for you. Just like he didn't intend for you to drink so much liquor that you become holy. That's not the intent of it, and you never will. You see what I mean? You smoke so much weed, you become righteous. It doesn't work like that, bro. The more you indulge in things God tells you to have a balance with and have dominion over, the more you let those things have dominion over you, the further away from yourself you will become. Until one day you look up, bro, and you across the country from yourself. You don't want that, bro. You don't want to look up one day and be across the country from yourself, because just as much as you didn't know how you journeyed there, you're going to be 10 times confused on how the hell do you get back to yourself. And that's real. But these are the things that you're gonna be told, bro. You're gonna be told to indulge. You're gonna be told to find balance in between sin and sinless lifestyle. There's no balance. This coming from me. Call me Luke Cage. Because I was lukewarm in the spirit. And I thought that I could do both. Let me tell y'all what I thought I could do, man. I thought I could be holy and righteous. And let me give y'all context, just a little bit of context. The context is I started off a virgin, holy and righteous, and seeking to stay a virgin into a marriage. That's what I started off. So I didn't start off on the opposite side of the spectrum. I started off holy. I started off in the church. I started off with the knowledge. I started off with the fear of God. And I started off protecting that. But once I lost my grip and I gave in to peer pressure and whatever else I gave into, then that's when everything changed for me, bro. That's when lust took over my life, bro. And when lust took over my life, I started to give God less and less and less of me as time went on. It didn't happen immediately. Like, the first slip up, it could have, and this is what I didn't realize because I didn't have the wisdom and the knowledge at the time. You know what I mean? And I was a teenager, but I was 19 years old. But here goes the thing. I didn't know that one slip up wasn't going to get me damned and doomed. And what happened is I let that slip up build into humiliation and shame. And I went on a rampage. And I couldn't come back from that for a long time. And the only reason I'm able to speak on it now is because I'm actually finally free. Not the fake free. See, I was fake free at first because I was in a dry spell. Let's just keep it real. That's what I'm here to do, is keep it real. So that I could do what God actually told me to do, which is to spread the gospel through my vessel in a way that it's supposed to be spread through me. Not to mimic somebody else. So anyways, let's keep it real, right? So I'm thinking like, okay, I could dibble and dab. I could, have the women and I could still serve God. I could have sex before marriage and I could still serve God. I could, potentially slip up and have a kid out of wedlock and I could still serve God. And what was happening was, like I said, it was a gradual decrease. I started off praying, using the word against the wicked, blah, 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 you name it. I started off doing that, bro. I started off with all my superpowers. Out here magically, whimsical with it. Linguadrian Reviosa, right? I was in my bag with the spirit. Doing tricks and all kind of stuff. But then I got caught up in lust. And gradually, over time, I started off still doing my wizardry, but over time, just a little bit less. And then, a little bit more time went on, a little bit less. I just turned the air on, so if y'all hear a little humming sound, that's just the air. Because your boy is sweating, and we ain't trying to do all that. So, here we go, right? I pray less, I hop out the word less, till eventually, 1 year, after all those years, I stopped reading my Bible altogether. I stopped praying altogether. I stopped caring about what God thought first altogether. I would beg God to give me things to please people that he didn't even want in my life. I would beg God to provide me with resources and things so that I could keep up with people that he didn't even want in my life. I would stick around in these relationships when I knew I should have been breaking up with these women. And I would think that God is going to provide me with the right resources to make this stuff work, to keep this homie, to keep this girl, to have this place to stay, or to have this whip to drive in areas and with people he did not want me to be with or around. Imagine that. I'm begging God to help me do things he telling me not to do. I'm begging them, make me look good so I could smash these women. Being a straight fool. Praying to God to enhance my vanity. So that's what happened, bro. And that's what the devil not gonna tell you. The devil gonna make it seem like, oh no, you just doing what you wanna do. You just living your best life. You just taking care of the things that's important to you. You just finessing the system. No, bro. In reality, each moment you're giving up a smidget. You're giving up an ounce of your life, an ounce of your light to evil. Until one day, you look to your left, and it's this demon shining bright. And you can't do nothing about it. You can't curse it. You can't bind it. You can't rebuke it. You want to know why? Because you build it up. You created that monster. That's a reflection of you. So now you got demonic forces shining bright in your life. And you wonder why people can't see the God in you. You wonder why you keep getting offers to do unholy things. You wonder why you keep getting treated a certain way. You wonder why you keep having to have certain occupations. You wonder why you keep having to spend life in loops, confusing ones at that. You wonder why you take 70 steps forward, 10 million steps back, 10 million steps forward, 100 billion steps back. You wonder why. It's because you think God is Six Flags, like he just loves life to be a roller coaster? No, sir. It's because you're not aligned with yourself. And oh, don't think you're going to make the trick. Don't think you're going to make the trick of serving God with all your heart and soul, but then treating yourself like shit. Oh no, don't think you're going to get away with that either. Don't think you're going to get away with hide behind, I'm a servant of the Lord. And you don't take care of yourself. You don't got boundaries. Yeah, don't think you're going to get blessed any more or less than the wicked. You see? Because in heaven, it's not about intentions. It's about execution. It's not about what you think about doing. It's about what you're actually doing. And that's something I had to realize, bro. Is that it sound good on the surface, but let's pull back the curtains and see who really working and see what's really worth it. If it's really that urgent and it don't got a purpose, then how could you tell the Lord that you really his servant? It don't really work like that from the tongue of a serpent. But if it's really worth that match it to light up the earth, it's not really much you can say until you really figure out what's been said. And so for the longest time, bro, I'm out here telling people I serve a mighty God and God is alive and well in my life. And then when they look at the fruits that I bear, they see a bare tree with no fruits. What happened, Rocky, man? You forgot to go to the beach? Oh no, you forgot to sing. Oh, you forgot to be meek. Oh no, you forgot to plan. Oh no, you forgot the wine. No, you was waving your hand. No, I get it, my man, because Peter Pan is in Japan. But please understand that Iraq is not Iran, but if you is a fan, then you got $1,000, and if that's $1,000, then why aren't you in the band? I don't get it. Scriptures really ain't that crazy. It's sovereignty that turned a grown man into a baby. So obviously, a lot of grown men been acting shady towards ladies because Adam and Eve was the one who introduced us. But I know it's confusing, brother. So take it from me, young man with the plan. Don't worry about the hoes, bro. And trust me, I'm in my prime, gang. I'm not saying this from a position of being cooked. I'm saying this from a position where if I turn the switch right now and serve the wicked and be evil, I could have it all. So, yeah, I lost things, and yeah, my life I paid the consequences for my wrong decisions. But trust and believe, that's not why I'm turning. That's not why I'm turning. I'm turning because I've always loved God. And for once, the conviction in me is alive and well. Because by God's grace and mercy, I was able to be saved and snatched out of lust. So now that I'm saved and snatched out of lust, I'm able to see my foolish ways, how dumb I was for begging God to let me get some cheeks, gang. Begging God to let me crack that. Yeah, man. I'm tired of that shit. I got tired of doing God like that. Like, what the fuck am I doing? That's not cute. It's not cool. And it's not even fulfilling. Cause what come after the nut, bro? Nothing. It's starting to rain, so it's probably gonna get hard to hear me. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this last little jewel. And class is out of session, so get your ass out to school. But look, there are ways into a man in which he think that are prosperous. But in the end, wickedness will be amongst him. Destruction will be upon him. Don't be like how I was. I'm not cooked and I'm not doomed. So don't listen to this and be like, man, he just saying that because he cooked. I'm not cooked, bro. I'm Gucci. I could still sing Lord of the Rings, know what I mean? And still hang tall with Yao Ming. But I'm done. I love God too much for that. And I only didn't do right by God because I thought that doing wrong was right. Hear me out. I thought that being true to myself, which was knowing that I wanted pretty women. And here's the thing. I never wanted to smash women before I was supposed to. Never. But once I did, I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop. It's going to be a part 2 to this. It's going to be a part 2 to this. But the last gem I want to leave y'all with is just cleanse your soul, man. And know that God is real. Cleanse your soul and fear God, bro. Cleanse your soul and fear God, bro. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only important thing. Because I promise you, if you get into a situation or a season or a spot in your life to where God says, I'm leaving you on your own, I promise you, that's going to be the worst time in your life. And you might not make it back from that.